Influence is a weapon. And if we're being honest with ourselves, most people teaching influence out there are selling Nerf guns to people that are bleeding out in a gunfight. These are the sales trainers, the coaches, persuasion experts. They're not teaching you the war that they should be teaching you. They're teaching you etiquette. So influence, in my opinion, only becomes a weapon in the hands of someone who knows how to use it. You could go out and drop $100,000 to develop the world's best persuasion script. The person using it is still operating from shame. They're still performing. They're still trying to be liked by other people. They're still needing to win. They won't do shit. That is because this part of our brain down in here, in the center right there, our limbic system, knows when a coward is speaking. We feel authority before we ever even understand it. Most people teaching this stuff are showing you how to talk to someone's prefrontal cortex. This is what I call placebo influence. It does not make a dent in the part of the brain that actually makes decisions. The prefrontal cortex, which is all right here, this is where logic lives. This is the seat of our reasoning, but this is not where behavior happens. You didn't buy those shoes because they were well made. You bought them because you want to be seen a certain way. You don't walk away from that toxic relationship because it makes sense. You do it because your soul finally snaps. That is a limbic reaction. It's mammalian. That is where influence lives. Cognitive behavioral therapy takes decades to shift people's behavioral patterns. But one car accident, one diagnosis, 12 seconds, and your life is never, ever the same. But if you're doing influence right, it doesn't just convince, it cuts, and it reaches behind someone's mask, and it hits the animal. It is a sacred, beautiful, survival, wired, scared little animal that's been hiding behind a LinkedIn resume for years. That's the part that stuff really hits. It's not when someone understands you because your data is good. It's when they actually feel completely seen. If you want to walk into a room and shift the direction, then you need to stop reading the scripts. You have to start rewriting your nervous system. And you're not doing that to manipulate or dominate. You're doing that to liberate people. And if liberation is not your mission, you got to put the weapon down. Close your eyes if you'll entertain me, if you can, for just a second. Nobody's watching. Take a breath right now and let yourself drift back for just a second. You're maybe 5, maybe 6 years old, and you're not thinking about the future. You're just being loud, joyful, totally alive. Maybe you were laughing too much. Maybe you were crying. Maybe you asked for something like attention or affection or comfort. But whatever it was, you asked for something real. And you didn't know that it was too much until someone told you with a sharp tone, or maybe a slammed door, or a look down into your eyes that said stop. And at that moment, that was the first time that your body, that little body, learned that being me has consequences. So that night you laid in your little bed, face towards the wall, holding your breath and wondering what you did wrong. And the tears didn't fall super loud. You didn't want to wake anybody up. You just kind of let the tears go on their own. It was quiet. And somewhere in that tiny, silent heartbreak, a contract was absolutely written. And it wasn't written in your mind. It was written inside your nervous system. And it's a contract that says, I'm going to be easier. I will need less. I will stay small if it keeps them close to me. And you've honored that contract ever since. In your relationships, your work, your silence. You don't remember signing that contract, but your body does. Every time that you hide what you really feel, every time you make yourself smaller in a room, every time you say that it's fine when it's not, the contract is still there, but you don't need it anymore. You're not 5. And you don't have to disappear to be loved. So open your eyes. Let me tell you what just happened. If you're feeling something right now, tightness in your chest, a lump in your throat, maybe fighting back some tears, that wasn't by accident. I did that on purpose. I reached inside of your nervous system and I pulled something out. And here's what truly matters. You didn't choose to feel that. Your neocortex didn't approve of you to feel that way. Your limbic system opened the gates. And that, what just happened right now, is influence. No techniques, no scripts. Influence is the power to move somebody's reality from the inside without any tricks or selling or coercion or convincing. What I just said to you was truth, and it was powerful because it was truth with a capital T. And I told it to you in a way that your body could not ignore it. If I can do that to you in 4 minutes, what could the wrong person do with this? And what could you do with it? If your message isn't landing, your sales aren't converting, your partner doesn't hear you, it's because you're talking to the part of the brain that doesn't make decisions. You're helping somebody to decorate their own mask, and you're calling it connection. This is why scripts fail. This is why coaching tips don't work on the internet. This is why millions of dollars are burned every year on placebo training, because it's all designed for the logical brain. We're not logical creatures. So if you're out here to change lives, whether it be through sales or therapy or leadership, whatever, you want to become dangerous in the right way, then you have to learn to speak to the system that decides things. Influence doesn't make people comply. It makes them remember who they were before the mask was built. When somebody hears your words, and suddenly you can see them start breathing like they haven't breathed in years. When you see somebody's shoulders drop, their eyes shift. You can see something like sacred clicking inside of their body. That's not persuasion. That is liberation. And if your influence isn't doing that, it is not influence. It's manipulation with good PR. I'll see you for the next one. Take care.